All right, I was just on a live with Justin on TikTok, and John Paul Miller's former father-in-law was on talking, and I followed him and I found this email on his account that he's sharing to show the behavior of John Paul Miller over time, because I noticed that this email is from 2015. So it looks like in 2015, and I don't know why. I don't know what Tom, from Tom's perspective, I've not heard Tom's side about this email in particular. I'm only sharing this because it's like, again, so many points of narcissism in here that I just want to review it with you and hopefully point out maybe some things that you have or haven't thought about, or maybe you see some things that I didn't and you can drop it in the comments, because the more we can educate each other on this, the more we might be able to save ourselves from being shredded like I have. Or even worse, not being here anymore like Micah. Justice for Micah. Okay, Tom and Tammy. Tammy, it looks like from this, worked for John Paul Miller, and her husband Tom, they must have had some kind of a conflict on a Sunday morning. He references it up here where he talks about rude and inappropriate comments or blaming him or the church for marital problems, etc., etc. So if we start with the first paragraph, what that tells me is that John Paul Miller has his church set up like a dictatorship. There's no like committee or elders that meet and talk about conflicts that happen, that he is just like the sole and ultimate decision maker, which is scary, but also just what a narcissist wants. So you see here, I have always appreciated, I am sad to say that Tom's actions were so dangerous and illegal. Really? Was he arrested? I don't think so. This point, I have no other choice but to give you two options, which is a form of control. If Tom writes a sincere apology to me and anyone else who he tried to intimidate and promises to never do anything like that again, Tammy can continue working for Solid Rock. He must apologize for the rude and inappropriate, blaming the church, coming on property with a bad attitude. Oh, I forgot. Isn't that illegal, having a bad attitude? I'm not sure. Trying to use intimidation to get his way. Huh, that sounds kind of familiar. And anything else that the Lord brings to his remembrance. Then, all capital letters, then Tammy can keep her job. On top of that, he also needs Tom to promise that he's never going to approach him again with a bad attitude, only between the hours of 8 and 1 on Sunday morning, though. So if he sees him in the grocery store